to get up every day and navigate these systems and succeed on their ass. And as a Black man in America, that's what Black joy means to me, man.
Hey guys, I'm Che and welcome to the Black Joy Club where we celebrate us. Today we are in West Adams at Alta, a community-driven restaurant serving up California soul food with love. I'm gonna get inside and holler at the owner and chef Keith Corbin to hear how he finds joy in his work and brings that joy to his community.
My name is Keith Corbin and I'm the chef and owner of Alta Adams restaurant here in Los Angeles. It's a community restaurant. It's a restaurant that stems from my vision, my idea. It's a restaurant for second chances and opportunity. It is literally the restaurant that changed my life. It's a restaurant where we encourage everyone just to be themselves. And so on any given night, the restaurant can feel differently. You know what I mean? It's not a restaurant where, you gotta shush the babies. The right song come on, people get up and dance. You have them singing. They start cha-chaing. When the restaurant's not open, like on Monday and Tuesdays or during the early days of Wednesday through Friday, the community come in and use the Wi-Fi and sit and work from home. Like the door's always open. And so I do California soul food. And what is California soul food? California soul food is the food, I inherited soul food from my grandmother. It's my heritage, Southern soul food. And so just taking that cuisine and deframing it and reframing it, incorporating spices and culture that the diverse culture that California has to offer. I grew up in Watts, joined down housing projects. Again, the underserved community, lack of resources. And so we made do what we had. I sold dope and cooked dope for a living. That ultimately landed me in prison for 10 years. During that time in prison, I cooked, but I always cooked, I was the oldest boy out of my mother's kids, and so I had to cook for my siblings. And then I continued to cook in the streets, drugs. And when I landed in prison, I landed in the kitchen again. When I came home from prison, I got my first job in the kitchen at Loco, a restaurant that Daniel Pratis and the World Trade opened. Worked hard, trained up, and through that exposure, I was able to dream or envision what Alta could be. I was working with these different chefs, seeing these techniques, seeing these fresh ingredients, and I thought about what my grandmother could have cooked or what she could have created had she had the same access as I have access to now. And so I started to envision this restaurant that we are sitting in now, which is Alta. It's always good to use local ingredients. You get to support small farms. You get to share the wealth, support each other. It's really important. I'm a community guy. I'm from the projects, right? And so if we don't do it for each other, who will? I always say no matter how much publicity, how high I get, what the stories are, none of that will have me erase the memories of where I come from, right? The joy I get from cooking comes from the failing and succeeding. You know what I mean? I didn't go to culinary school, the order of things. I'm learning in this kitchen, you know what I'm saying? And so the joy of figuring it out, the journey of discovery, it just means the world to me. You know what I mean? It just takes me back to being in the hood and on the block. That day you come out with no money and you're figuring out how to go in the house with some money, but you don't have a job opportunity, right? And going through that whole process of the roller coasters of up and downs, getting some things right, getting some things wrong. But once it's complete and you did it on your own, you step back and it's like, I fucking did that. And so in the kitchen for me, that's what I'm doing when I'm building plates, when I'm building recipes, right? I'm going through those emotions of slamming the top, too much salt. Damn, it's missing something. I don't know what it is. Try this, try that. And then when you put it in front of the guests and they like, wow, this is amazing. And you get to step back and be like, I did that. It's a great feeling, right? And I see the joy in my kids. From me being sitting on the project stoop, not knowing what to eat or what I'm gonna eat, right? To having my kids getting ready to take a trip to Italy for 21 days. To having my son in private school, to be able to provide jobs and give Black joy and brown joy. You know what I mean? can't take that joy away from me, man. I love being black.